I did read it. We have a lot of respect for him as a player, a lot. I was very disappointed in our staff that we didn't offer him earlier. And then about the treating him bad, we don't do that on purpose. If that's his feelings, that I went back and talked to our staff about it because we don't want that to be out there. But when you have 1 out of 650 that say that someone's treated bad, but I know we did not offer him early. We did want to offer. I mean, afterwards he really grew into a great player, and I think we missed on him early on, and that was very upset with our coaching staff, the recruiter in that area, and then the position coach. So that's the way we do our business here. So yeah, we do address that. I don't want that out there. And then I went back and no, I did that on January when they told me they're leaving. I kind of went through a little withdrawal, but no, it's that ship has sailed, and the good thing is they're really helping our young guys. I watch them. Mike Thomas doesn't come here he comes here to help coach. I see Eli Apple out there talking to Damon Arnett. I think that's a big part of what separates us from a lot of places. Those kids all come back with the ownership. Taylor Decker's here for a lot of reasons. One, to lift and train, but also to help Isaiah Prince and Jamarco Jones. And that's when you got a good pro. That's when you know you got a good thing going. Zeke was out here the other day, and he was spending time with Mikey Weber and Briante.
Touched on the injury like that.
No, I anticipated an issue. What I didn't anticipate is the 11 guys that we're counting on not playing. I didn't know we'd have 4 receivers not go. I didn't know that. I kind of did, but you just don't even think that. Eric Smith and, Cam Burrows would be limited. I'm trying to think who else is. Malik Barrow's not taking a rep so far. So there's guys that we're really counting on that have not been able to for injury. So it's a thin. You watch practice sometimes and you just kind of wince and like, oh my goodness, where are we going to be here? But I think we'll be okay when everybody gets healthy.
Front row left, Mitch. Can you talk about this?
Well, that's a good point. We had a long discussion about that. Last week was about chaos. You have 3,000 students in there, loud noise the entire time, and screaming, yelling, and we on purpose try to create situations, environments. I'll probably shut down practice for everybody on Thursday and Saturday this week, just because I want it extremely quiet. We have to get better now and find out. We still have a hard time putting together our depth chart. So, yes, to answer your question, we have done that. Has it been successful? It remains to be seen. But there's a theme to every week that we do around here. And the first one was install spring break. Next one was first to normal and just getting used to practice. Last week was creating much chaos as we could throughout the week of practice to watch guys respond. And then this one, just because of where we're at, shutting it all down and finding out, we have to make some hard decisions coming up here this week. By Saturday, there's some guys that are going to play and some not going to play.
Front row right, Tim.
Great. This is the message we have with the team today. If you're not playing well, there's only 3 reasons. One, you're really a poor player, really, really bad football player. And that's usually an excuse, because to make it to this level, you've done something very well. The number 2 would be you're extremely poorly coached. And I try to watch that closely. Once again, to get to this level as a coach, you either been a complete phony or somehow you got away with it. But I don't see that. I watch closely. I'm not saying coaches don't make mistakes, but that's my job. And then the third one, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with the chemistry in your unit room. There's something wrong with maybe your lifestyle. Maybe you're not getting your rest. Maybe you're not putting the right things in your body. Maybe you shut off being Ohio State. When you walk out the doors, you say, I quit thinking football. And so that's our job to address that and find out. So it's only one of those 3 things, and 90+% of them are the last one. Why did Curtis Grant, why did Stevie Miller, why did all these kids play so great that end of their last year? Because they fixed that number 3, because they were always good enough, but they didn't play good enough. So you have to find out why. And that's a very complicated, and it's something we spend an inordinate amount of time on, to find out the why is that kid not playing. It's too easy to say, you stink, you're no good. You're no good. No, they don't. They've done something very well to be here. And the reason I'm spending so much time on that, you just got this 20 minutes what we just spent with our team about what you have to find out that reason. And then you find out socially they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Maybe they're putting something, maybe they're doing something that young people and young and old people do that aren't conducive to being a major college football player. But that's our job to find out. It's too easy to say you're not good enough. We don't do that here.
But does youth factor in?
No, someone asked about the quarterback situation and how terrible that was last year. I thought it was fantastic. You have 2 great players that so I much rather have enough to where you're having all constant meetings about who should start. as opposed to the guy that number 2 is not near what number 1 is. Because if something happens to number 1, your team goes like this. So I think the answer is real obvious for a coach, is we'd rather have a lot of depth answers and guys fighting for spots.
Do you want your coaches to say, maybe this guy's the starter, but I'm going to take him out in this series because this next guy behind him is almost just as good? Maybe that guy's getting a little tired. Like, do you want your position coach?
That's when you have a
like
great
that?
team. That's when you have a great team. When you know that Raekwon McMillan's almost as good as Curtis Grant. That's when life is really good as a coach. You can say, okay, going in there, and it doesn't have a drop-off.